What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you today on this Sunday, talking about how to fight hyperinflation. Hopefully, you can hear me and my headset's not doing too much craziness. Drop your city and state in the chat. Let me give you a little PSA before we start today's show. Last show, I think it was our last show, we had a lot of block ministry candidates, and let me let you know, I'm willing, able, and every show, if possible, will block as many people as possible. Will remove you from the platform. Why? Why? Ericka, you should let people say what they want. It's a public forum. No, it's not. It's a public platform. You can go anywhere on this platform with 30 other million YouTube channels. You don't have to be here. No one's forcing you to be here. You leaving me long paragraphs about your feelings. I read the first two lines, and if it sounds like it's going to get crazy, I delete the rest. Blocked. Why? Because we're not here to see you, Otis. They're not here to hear you. They're not. If I wanted to hear what you had to say, I'd make this a call-in show, wouldn't I? We haven't made it a call-in show, have we? Okay, then. So, look, we still a little sick. We fighting back. Tomorrow's show, we will not have Coach Carter. He has the bid, but we have another guest coming in place. And I want y'all to understand, like, if you feel so passionately about certain topics, I want you to start them. I want you to create a platform and a place where you can express these ideals you have that clearly nobody cares about because you come to somebody else's platform to share them, right? So today I was in here recording two different videos for the classes, just content for the classes while I'm feeling better. We just put together a WordSite press blog in like 20 minutes in a different type of way through Namecheap. So that's for the digital real estate students. And then also a whole little business credit thing I just did where how do I start up my companies? How do I get them rolling? How do I get them on databases? How do I get them with vendor accounts? And so what I want people to understand is there's so much opportunity out there that if you really are passionate about these topics, these misery topics is what I love to call them, start a channel, start a blog, start a podcast, go share those topics, right? There's a thing, what I've noticed in our community and other communities is people get really passionate about something, a football team or whatever, and now they make it their mission to go convert everybody into this belief system. But you convert by being a winner. Yes, does Tom Brady have haters? Yes, but Tom Brady has all these followers no matter what team he'll go to because he's a winner. And see, a lot of you have been misled on this internet to believe, well, if I don't participate, if I sit out, if I pout, if I complain about women or the capitalism or the economy or racism, if I sit out, then I'm winning because I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. No, you're not winning. No one's following you. No one cares that you go home. No one cares that you quit on the game. Nobody cares about quitters. They only read about winners and they only care to be around winners. So take that for what it is. Nobody cares. Just like when people share their sob stories, people be like, oh my God. Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So now that we got that through the first 3 minutes of rough conversation here, let's get into our super hyperinflation, how to fight it. A lot of people say, well, there's no way to fight hyperinflation. You are incorrect. It's just like saying there's no way to fight gentrification. You are incorrect. Thank you, Steve Simmons, for joining, becoming a YouTube member. Thank you, Ryan Norman, for becoming a YouTube member. What's up from Ohio? Listen, it's all kind of blocks and deletes. I really feel sorry for everybody that really takes their time to write 5 paragraphs on something. I read the first 2 weeks and block it. Right? Already we have somebody for block ministry starting early. Blocked. Let's see. Again, come on with it. And that's fine. That's right. You better have it together. You better have conversation together. Nobody wants to hear your sob stories. Okay, we've already had to block somebody for the evening. See how we starting it already? Block. Okay. Anyway, nobody cares about quitters. They only want to read about winners. You don't go to the bookstore to buy a biography on a loser. There we go. All right. So now that we're at 130 4 people in here. Today's show is talking about how to fight inflation. A lot of times people are going to say, oh, she's just going to say real estate or this or that. Now, listen, the goal is to fight inflation. Inflation rises usually historically 2 to 3% a year. Right now, we've had a year where it went 6%. Now, you may say, well, Ericka, what's inflation? Because the government said inflation is not going that crazy. Well, the government is lying to you. Why? Because the government took out your food cost and your gas costs. Last time I checked, gas and food went up. And if you don't add them into the equation, of course, it looks like, what are you talking about? Housing went up. Why do you think 1 million people moved? Again, I shared it again on the community wall. I will share it again here a second. 800,000 people moved. That chart I was showing y'all. 800,000 people moved from just July 2020, right? We deep into the pandemic, to July 2021, because it was so oppressive. 800,000 people just in that time frame. So when someone tells me they're in the South and they're not worried about it because they're in the South and the South is cheap, if you don't own any property in the South, you're not going to make it, boo-boo. And it's not because Northerners are coming. It's because you're not in a position of leadership or winning. No matter how many chats y'all go on for 8 hours a day, convincing other people that you could be a winner if other people change, it starts with you. Okay? So here is the map. I hope you guys can see it. Nearly 800,000 people, West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, have moved down south since last July. There is reasons why I keep telling y'all, like, could you forever and ever buy property in Detroit, Cleveland, Indiana, Ohio, and get 20% returns on your money? For sure. Forever and ever and ever. Depends on your time frame of how long you want to hold, when you want to hold it. But for me, and if you're in the Rise 20% class, you'll hear this stuff on Tuesday. You'll hear my whole little chart out for next year on Tuesday. Hands down, buying land. And everywhere you see that's green on that belt, that's what I'm doing. Everybody I know is doing. I mean, I can tell you right now, I just got off a call earlier, a Zoom call with people. Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas. That's it. They're not buying anything if it isn't there. They don't care. And a lot of people are saying, well, they got traffic jams. They don't have bus transit. They don't have, trains. And I'm like, baby, this is the South. We're still going out like this across. We ain't even got to vertical yet because we have that much land and that much space. So please don't get it twisted. Most of the Midwest and parts of the West have huge swaths of cattle and grazing and farmland opportunities. So I'm not saying that's not available. Right now, if you actually look on some of our farm websites, a ton of land in Illinois is being for sale, farmland, and there's reasons for that, right? Our average farmers are older. They know they need to get their money while they can. So again, there's been some discussion, and I tried to find the article, I couldn't go back and find it, about beef prices going through the roof. Well, you had about a cull of 20% of beef in several farms where the government essentially paid them to kill off cattle. And they claimed it was because of the regional butchering places being behind, COVID, all that other stuff. And then we're importing beef from Namibia, Africa. So it's a combination of confusion, but I will tell you, number one way we're going to start. Let me go to the article, because if Warren Buffett say it, then maybe y'all listen, and then I'll go with my rant. What are some ways to fight? He's 90 years old, and he's like, what are some ways to fight inflation? And he says, invest in good businesses with low capital needs. Does anybody here know what good businesses are with low capital needs? Anybody in the chat know what good businesses are with low capital needs? Could you give me some examples in the chat? I know it's a 30-second delay, so while y'all doing that, I'm going to go down here. Exactly, calculating food, playing in your face. What's up, ECU? Love it. Okay. All right, some of y'all getting close. Service-based businesses. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Ding, 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 ding. Now, what encompasses service-based businesses? Let's go. Some of y'all are putting really good ones in the chat, and I'll break them down. Since you're putting them in the chat, I will break them down. Which ones are good, which one's bad, right? Which one works? So first, someone put digital products, spot on, Michelle Green. CC Meyer said cleaning business. Exactly. I have a cleaning company. It's something I started to kind of balance out the negative I was being drained from trucking and other real estate ventures. And I work with subcontractors. Again, I highly recommend my Middleman Millions course, but if you want to just focus just on cleaning, I'd go all the way, skip me, leave me, go all the way over to the Hartmonies, and that's HARTZOG. No affiliate. I'm not even voting affiliate link yet. I mean, I got one, but I ain't even posting it here. They have a great one on having a cleaning business. We even have somebody, not myself, but I think Maye Matthews is selling one of her additional cleaning businesses locations because she has more than one. So if you guys are interested in that, I will put that in the community tab. And I also send out an email to everybody, all 15,000 emails on the email list of that business is for sale. It's a low capital business. There will be always someone who needs cleaning services. There will always be government contracts for cleaning services. There will always be schools that need cleaning services. There will always be hospitals. There'll be everywhere you can think of that need cleaning. Painting. There'll always be somebody need painting. We just did the show with Rochelle Warren, maybe 2 weeks ago, on having a handyman service business. She'll be back again because she's launching her course, and also I want her back on to talk about opportunities. Again, if you got a pickup truck and you got a few tools, low capital needs, put a t-shirt with your name and your number on it and go out the door. Low capital needs. Okay, so into tech businesses, depending on the company, some of these tech companies have like 10 people working max. Companies worth $1 billion. It's happening. Someone said service industries. Oh, did I miss it? Oh. And I'm sorry I'm drinking this coffee, but it's delicious. And we are still on medication. Yes. Service industries, tax prep, right? Tax prep. Again, look at the tax prep offices all over the hood, all over neighborhoods. They will have an office. They ain't even there half the year. See, this is what people don't understand, the math on it. When I talk about business, I think of QuickBooks, which some of you have already said, hey, Ericka, I took it. It started me off. We even had a guest on. He became famous on TikTok, but he started with QuickBooks free training. Once you know how to do the free training, become a bookkeeper, QuickBooks actually sends you clients. They actually send you clients. And so you literally could be in your home with an office, got your QuickBooks certification, and have clients coming to you. Boom. What happened during the PPP? People realized they needed their books done. They needed quality books, be able to turn in quality information to the government, turn in quality paperwork. At the end of the day, I'll tell you like this. If you're a small business owner and you're getting past $200,000 to $400,000 a year, I highly recommend you invest in an in-house accountant. Let me say that again for anybody watching. I highly recommend when you start getting past $250,000 to $1 million, you need an in-house accountant. I've just been to too many back and forth with the emails, back and forth with the meetings. You're paying thousands of dollars, and then at the end of the month they say, "Oh, I thought you wanted this." No. So, tax prep, remote work, off the chain. Look at the little HR block centers. Look at the little Jackson Hewitts. You literally be in the office for what, 4 months, January to April. That business, I've seen people make $1 million in a tax season, and they don't work quotation marks for the rest of the year. They do some bookkeeping here and there. They stay busy, but overall, that was their year. January through April was their tax year. I've seen it with personal trainers. I've seen it with gyms. They get into the black January through April. If you're in my digital real estate course, if you're in my Rise to 20%, we talk about this every year. January through April, there will be people who become millionaires in the beginning of the year, and what they do with the rest of the year makes sense. So how do you fight inflation? Invest in good businesses with low capital needs. Okay. Hope that made sense. Let me see. Y'all got some more in here. Waste management. Yep. Home healthcare. Yep. Waste management. If you're not in this part of Austin, but you go about a good 30 to 45 minutes outside of town, if you own trash cans and you can go get the service to the city, they'll hire your company. Or you'll have rural parts of Texas, rural parts of South Carolina, rural parts of Georgia, where it's literally a local route that a company does, and you're paying that company $50 a month or $100 a month. Now, maybe say, well, if I live in the country, I'll just take my own trash. That gets old quick, I promise you. So most people pay, and the man brings them a trash can, and they come pick up the trash. I've been on several consulting calls with people who have 200 homes on their route. So you do the math: 200 homes times 100. Dollars a month, and they ain't even hitting every home every day, right? So let's be the math on that. Let's go ahead and put out the calculator. 200 homes, and if he sees this show, hey, I'm just using an example, times 100, making $20,000 a month. He literally has him and one other guy go pick up trash on 2 days a week. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It's an easy way to do it. Healthcare, yep. Traveling nurses, online, yep. Handyman, tech and coding, all these. Yes, Michelle Green. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the class. Thank you for the super chat. Insurance business. I really want, Melita, this is something I want y'all to understand. There's so much money out here. This scarcity mindset that people are living in, it disgusts me to no end. So I'm the biggest person to say, hey, yeah, I have a course, but it specializes in Middleman Millions in general. The two people we have coming on next week, their business, one of them even says, my business is a Middleman Millions type business. He calls himself a middleman business. And I'm like, what I'm teaching you is legit, but there are people who specialize and niche into one particular thing. Go check out the Harmonies on cleaning company from top to bottom, niched information down. People who take Middleman to Millions, I got like, I don't know how many hours, maybe 8-9 hours of content in there, where we've got somebody who has a roofing business. We got somebody who got a handyman business. We got some cleaning company. We got people telling you step by step what they did in the Middleman to Millions course, right? We've got the examples. We got everything you need. And so even now with me recording this content, I might even throw it in there too. When I start a business, this is how I started, and this is how I get the accounts, and this is how I get the nap.com, and this is how I get the duns, and this is how I get the yets, and this is how I get it lined up, and I get it ready, and I get my mailbox blowing up all next month with offers and limits and this and that, because I do these steps in a particular way. So anyway, Melita, that's always my goal, is each one teach one. And if I can send somebody to somebody who knows what they're doing, I will send them there in a heartbeat. Yep, got their contractor plays equipment, desk, carpet, all that stuff. That's right. I'm telling you, it's very, very low. Consulting, counseling, coaching, all those good businesses. They will always have clients. Low capital needs. The only thing you're really doing is promoting. Laundromat, facts, financial services. That's right. So many variables. That's what people have to understand. What's up, Lucy? I'm glad you're on the plane. Thank you for watching me from the plane. That's right. Junk removal. Why do you see junk removal? We don't have, we have a lot of hoarders. We have a lot of older folks that have a lot of junk. There's nobody young in their family to do it. We used to have an aunt that was a massive hoarder, and she lived in a Victorian house in North Carolina. So you imagine the size of a Victorian house full of hoarding. It took 20, 25 family members to clear that bad boy out. We ain't doing that ever again. I will pay. We'll pay. Let's move junk. We'll pay, right? People always know a dad or two that got a yard full of card parts he ain't using, all that stuff. Truck dispatching, exactly. Y'all, there's a long list y'all putting in here. All these will work. Okay? So there's the first one off our list. Invest in good business. I know a lot of people get angry or they talk bad about template businesses, but at the end of the day, you literally, a template business, when I tell you I went to Apex and a couple of other groups that are basically 95% men, I would walk and talking to men who'd be like, oh yeah, I started an AC company. I'm like, oh, how long have you been doing ACs? Oh, I've never done AC in my life. I just had a credit card. I hired a guy who knew how to do ACs, and I hired somebody to answer the phones. And literally, you're talking to a man now who has made like $1 million in a year off AC repair in Dallas, off of AC repair in Oklahoma, AC repair in the Carolinas. Like literally the event spaces, when I go to them, you'll talk to these people and I hear the same story over and over. I'm the guy. I hired 1, 2, 3 people and we took off running. And I know we business is so hard. They always go under, they fail. I want y'all to understand too, sometimes when you meet business owners, and let's say they make the foundation wrong or they make the paperwork wrong, they quotation mark have the business fail on paper, restart another LLC and start the same business over. And this happens in trucking. This happens in every company you can think of. Because you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm gonna be careful, but that happens often. So when people say, "Oh yeah, businesses go under all the time," and I go, "Do they go under all the time, or are there some business owners who are doing some paperwork shuffle?" Some of that's happening too. So again, that's the number one thing on my list. How to fight inflation is a good business. If you look at Argentina, you look at Brazil, you look at several countries, even Venezuela, the people who are business owners are the main ones eating, living, thriving. Children have jobs. Right? People who are business owners are still doing okay. They just adjust their food prices. They change things. Something I keep telling y'all, prime example with Papa John's and Marco's Pizza. Papa John's had the scandal with the pizza owner. I used to be the manager of Papa John's, y'all. We used to drive pizzas for Papa John's for years. And the thing people say, well, oh, those pizzas are so expensive. And Diamond Dave mentioned this. When you go to a place and it's really cheap food, look at what's the food made of. I'm gonna just go there. Little Caesars, y'all. I wouldn't eat that if you paid me. Shit's cardboard. I worked at Papa John's, and Papa John's owned farms. Now, first thing you're thinking is, why would Papa John's own farms? Right? Because people complain, oh, the price is so expensive. You had the little scandal with the owner saying the N word. And so then they took him away and they kind of dropped prices, but not really. They just put a bunch of coupons out there. And what happened is, it's because Papa John's own farms. They own farms all over Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. They own the peppers, the tomatoes, everything. Everything they have is fresh, right? The little cannery places they use, they basically are 50% owners in the cannery places they use in Alabama. They're 50% owners in the place that slices the tomatoes. They're 50% owner in the small manufacturing small town that slices the peppers, right? That does all these things with peppers, right? Because we get the peppers whole at the store and we slice them. So we get these boxes coming in fresh all the time. So what people have to understand is, right? Owning farms is part of number 2, but having a good business is controlling what comes into your business. One of the biggest things you'll notice here about Austin and a lot of southern places, right? A lot of southern places is they own the farms or they have a direct connect to farmers to get them the food they need for their seasonal stuff or a special salad dish or whatever, right? And a lot of times that's a part of being in a good business. Is number 2, another way to fight inflation is farms. Okay. They're literally, if you watch Yellowstone, you watch some of these, shows, a lot of people move from California out to these Montana, Idaho, parts of Texas. They buy these big batches of land and build a house. Well, now they lost their ag exemption. How do they fight taxes without that ag exemption? Well, they get it back, right? They have cows grazing, they have honey, they have alpacas, they have several different things to classify them as a farm. So you could literally spend the next day on this man's YouTube and look up people who have farms under an acre. And y'all think I'm joking. Look up farms under an acre and farms that are 10 acres. It's one of the fastest growing homestead, hobby farm, small farm that you'll see. And those people usually make a lot more money than your girl owning 200 acres and they're squeezed between the middle of being a big farm and a little farm, right? So that's your number 2. Number 1 is business with low capital. Number 2 is farms. Exactly, Stephen James. You get what I'm saying. A lot of these people are doing some paperwork funniness, strategic bankruptcy. That's what they're doing, right? That's what I'm saying. They carry it forward. Many people are writing off everything. Like there's a joke. This guy said, business owners want to write off everything until it's time for a loan. It happens often. It happens often. There you go. Process server. There you go. What's going on? What's up? Meet the Bree Loves. Hey, how you doing? Control the supply chain. Yeah. So when people talk about, man, these pizza places and these restaurants having bad food, I'm not nowhere near disrespecting anybody. I just know for certain when I go meet my family, I go, we only eat Papa John's or Marco's, because Domino's doesn't own as many farms. Little Caesars doesn't own any farms. These two franchises own farms, and their pizzas are more expensive because you're paying for real food. When you go to places and you're like, what happened to the dollar menu? What happened to the 50-cent menu? Baby, you ain't eating real meat. I don't know what you eat. I don't know if you eat cat, dog, shrimps. I don't know what you eat. But it ain't burger, right? So it's something for you guys to understand about owning the value chain. Exactly. Amazon owns ships and plant. Yep. That's the thing. People don't understand. Microgreens is a big business. If you go look, I mean, all I can tell you, if you want to own like a little hobby farm outside Atlanta enough that you can get schools to visit, people to visit, and make little pumpkin patches and and corn mazes and all that stuff like that, you'll make money. Point blank period. You'll make money. Hands down, you'll make money. And then also you can have contracts with local restaurants, and that lets that restaurant upcharge more and also pay you up. Something you also have to notice: check out Food Lion, Harris Teeter. I'm going to talk about HEB, but Food Lion, Harris Teeter. If you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, what you'll notice is they'll have a whole section of, hey, we got this from farms in North Carolina. So when the supply chain messes up for Food Lion or Harris Teeter, they'll call up farmers. They'll just call up farms. Like, they literally have a staff. That's all they do is call up farms. Hey, would you like a contract with Food Lion? Would you like a contract with Harris Teeter? Fill out these documents. Same thing with HEB. HEB has and I can't give away too much information because of y'all. I gotta say that for January. But HEB has a minority division in HEB that essentially that's what they do. They run around calling farmers and people like, hey, could you produce this many? And I'll get you in 5 stores in the Central Texas area. Can you produce this much? And we'll get you in here doing this. This is why you see Max Tuning, you see what's the Hispanic guy over Alpha Land? Him and a couple other people, all of a sudden they're inside stores at massive volume. It really fast. All of a sudden, it's like their soft drinks, their candy, everything's in Targets all over the place. They're making millions of dollars because you guys are, while you're mocking YouTube, right? Which is a low capital business. It's a good business but it can be exhausting. If I'm on this YouTube and I say, hey, you guys, I got a coffee drink coming out, and I blow it up on here and I get into 5 stores in HEB, and then I get into 5 gas stations, and then I just literally do influencer reach out nonstop for 2 years. I mean, it'll be, do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a blueprint people on YouTube are following. The smart ones anyway, right? They're following a blueprint to get them from doing fitness to either being a supplement company or a company that's in grocery stores, right? If you actually look at the math and the numbers on Alpha Land, how much it's taking him to put into it, and then how much they're making a month and how many stores they're in, insane. You're talking over 50 million, $60 million. You're talking about a person doing at least 50 million in a year. At least, right? Again, the markup on candy, the markup on stuff, on drinks. Just apply this also in your head to farms. If you're a small farmer and you have a barbecue sauce, which I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, barbecue sauce is a low, easy entry way into grocery stores. You have a barbecue sauce or a drink that you can get into a certain number of stores, then you can get into the national. Because Leslie Moore, this is not the conversation for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in timeout because you're already trying to take the conversation somewhere else. No, thank you. Stay inside the conversation we're having. How to fight inflation. You want to talk about all the other stuff? Go to Tone Talks and do that. Okay? So again, look, y'all think I'm joking tonight. Y'all going to stay on topic. You stay on topic or you get out of here. That's all there is to it. Y'all want to talk about everything else? Go take that to Tone Talks. Go take that to some Red Pill channel. Go take that to other places. Get that out of here. Prime example. There you go. It's like when 50 Cent got sued saying he was bankrupt, but his business made all the money. So again, that's all that is paper. That's paper talk, right? Like Rich Dad Poor Dad. They sued one of their companies. They're like, yeah, man, Rich Dad Poor Dad makes 50 million a year. We're gonna be rich. Well, no, that particular LLC made no money. So you sued one particular LLC that had no money in it. So all these other LLCs can be doing business all day long and all night long, but you sued the wrong one. So that does happen. Well, congratulations, man. Hit it to it. HEB is the truth. It really is. Harris Teeter, any of these. Micro farms. I'm just not playing this Sunday. We don't have time for it. Go talk that shit somewhere else. I mean, good gracious. That's the problem. You guys are running for the shiny object, and I'm giving you 100% what's going to go in the blog when the blog goes out tomorrow. I have 2 different blogs coming out. How to fight inflation. This is the number 1 topic you need to be talking about. How to fight inflation. Okay? That's it. That's where your brain needs to be right now. All right, number 2, look for companies that can raise prices during prices of inflation. Again, who can raise prices? Just about anybody, right? Some stuff is stuck. McDonald's is kind of stuck. But he said, you build a bridge in old dollars, you don't have to keep replacing it. Essentially, what they're talking about is having businesses that can raise prices to keep up, right? And that's, if you look in Venezuela, look in Brazil, that's exactly what was happening. Take a look at TIPS, which is Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. I'm going to leave this off tonight. We're not going to talk about this particular one tonight. I'm going to go over to stocks and some other stuff, but I'm going to talk about a particular type of stock. Why? Invest in yourself and be the best at what you do. Okay, listen, Warren Buffett said it. Maybe y'all listen to him, because if I say it, you look at me crazy. Invest in yourself. If you come on this man's YouTube and you're watching hours and hours of content on petty, silly mess, distraction content, I promise you, what you're doing is self-sabotage. We all need a veg out hour or 2. But when that veg out hour or 2 becomes 7 hours of veg out ridiculousness every single day for 365 days, that's your life. That's not you taking a break. That's your life. That's who you are. Now, I got a video coming up, I think next Monday, talking about I'm anti-grind culture right now, because we need sleep and we need veggies and we need a better care of ourselves. If you homeless, you need to be grinding, right? If you sleeping in your car right now and you don't want to be sleeping in your car, you need to grind. If you are somebody who has kids and you can take more time off, and I'll have a whole conversation on it, you should, right? But for right now, when someone tells me, hey, Ericka, I want to be the best in this, I go, have you picked up the top 10 books in your career that you're talking about? Top 10 books for last year. Put them in your cart, put them in your house, read them every day for an hour. Have you gone on LinkedIn? I just saw a little snippet of a podcast. Essentially, I don't know the podcast. I don't want to get in that drama, but it's like 2 girls who are hot city girls. And she's like, yeah, girl, I go on LinkedIn, girl, and I get in their DMs on LinkedIn. The other girl goes, what's LinkedIn? They are on YouTube and have a high millions of people watching their podcasts, and this broad don't even know what LinkedIn is. The other chick is like, girl, it's like Facebook for your job, and everybody's showing what job they have, and I know which brothers make money, and I reach out to them on LinkedIn. So I'm laughing because 1, the snippet's funny to me, but 2, what it makes me realize is we have people out here in our economy specializing in Facebook, specializing in Instagram, specializing in YouTube, and they are not specializing where to invest their money. That's why I posted that whole YouTube video on Glozell and all these people that make millions of dollars, and then they're like begging for something on YouTube. Boo, wrap it up, pack it up. The average career is 2 to 5 years on here, unless you're actively reinvesting in your business, actively growing, actively changing up your channel, actively stepping out and investing in your business. It is what it is. Go wrap it up and leave. So again, number 4 tip is invest in yourself and be the best at what you want to do, right? Bulking up your resume, having your LinkedIn, not to just holler at brothers, but actually having a LinkedIn so you can actually make progress in your life is what you should be focused on. It just is, right? This is a simple one. This isn't super complicated. Just investing in yourself. Okay. Steer clear of traditional bonds. I'm not going to go there, but the basic common sense is they only paying 2%. That's it forever, right? So again, we get out of to this page. I want to go to the next one. If you don't get a 6% raise, are you taking a pay cut due to inflation? So this is something that's been going on lately where they've been kind of arguing like, hey, my boss only gave me a 2% raise. It's not keeping up with inflation. And let's just be honest. The number one way you're going to get more money from your job is one, by changing jobs. That's the way you'll get your biggest pay raise ever. And then two, some of these companies realize, they ain't keeping up with that. You're not that valuable. You're not that much of an asset to the team. And I'm just gonna go there, right? You make your money when you leave jobs. You make your money when you invest off the jobs. That's it. Who needs a good blocking? They need it tonight. Again, thank you for liking my directness. But here's the thing: y'all go on men's channels and you're never disrespectful. The disrespect I encounter on YouTube from people, it's a twofer. It's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a black woman. At the end of the day, I don't have to put up with either of it. Either of it. Block you. Have a great night. Keep it moving. Good point. Grocery stores in modern sense started in 1916 with Piggly Wiggly. That's right. Few hobby farms, contracts. So there, I sell my lemon locally. They sell out fast. Congratulations. So prime example, I went to one of the guys that's supposed to come on the channel. I don't know if I can still get him, but he is one of the three. Sorry for my hair making noise. One of the three owners in Growtopia. And essentially, I was at the farmer's market and they had a table. I mean, stacked full of carrots, stacked full of bok choy, stacked full of peppers. I went one walk around, came back, it was gone. I was like, what happened? What happened? It was gone. And so local produce, especially here in Austin, Texas, is the cool thing to do. The farmer's market, it's fresh. You're helping small business owners out. And they make that money. I promise you. They make that money out there. So let me see here. There's a buildup of waste where homeless live in cities where resources are thin. I'm wondering how you can do a small startup and get a contract. Easy. There's probably thousands of cleanup contracts in cities right now. Oh, hey, Ericka. I don't see a join button on your page. I was trying to join. So when you first come to the YouTube channel where it says subscribe, there will be a button say join. So you definitely can just go back to the first page. Have things to barter with. This is true. It's crazy. She did, but she also got divorced in the process. So Will Melvin, I literally was like, I can't knock the hustle. That's what he's saying. It's a little desperate, but here's the thing. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there quickly, and I'm gonna get back on topic. Another way to fight inflation is marry well, partner well, right? Let's just add that to the list, because when I go to the Grant Cardone events, when I go to the real estate masterminds, when I go to these events, I would come and the women would be dressed to the nines, and I'd be like, damn, am I bumming today? And then I realized, okay, where can a woman get in a room full of successful men that are, even if they ain't successful yet, their mindset is like, I'm here because I'm trying to get on track to be successful. Where will she meet those men out in surplus? The conferences, the seminars, the events. It is what it is, right? Proximity matters. And what's funny is I get these really long, drawn out comments from you guys, and I still win in a way that cracks me up, because I'm just in those spaces more than you. You're not in that space. You're talking all this talk, but you go to the gym 5 hours, then you go home and sit on your couch for 5 hours. Nobody's seeing you, boo-boo. Nobody sees you. You're not that valuable. I'm just going to go there. So again, another way to fight inflation is partner well, marry well. You notice a lot of people humped up and did those elopements real quick this past pandemic. So you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted there. Don't sleep on the game. She's right. I went from 60K to 125K just by switching jobs. But keep in mind, this was in the tech field. Stephen Johnson, this was one of my biggest plugs to people, was like, hey, I'm going to get a few certifications to go to a few interviews just to show y'all how hard it is not. Anti-gravity. Ericka has timed me out for less. Listen, Listen, we'll time everybody name mama out. We don't even care. Real inflation has to be higher than 6.8. If housing, stocks, gas, food are well up in the double digits over the year, DT crypto, look at you. Look at you. You already know. You know what time it is. But we can't talk like that. Hank, that's my next one. If you actually can see the list of stuff we're talking about on here, you guys will see. So let me go ahead and change the page so you can get on it. I really can't shame people for using their brain. I can't. Thank you. I appreciate you, Doug. Hey. Well, no, see, this is the thing. At the conferences, these women aren't married. These women are single, and you'll talk to them, and they kind of have like a little candle business or a little tech business or a little side business, but they're there to network because they're there to meet somebody, and I can't even. Hey, help me fight Skynet. Respect the free game. uh yep, this is true. All right, so let me go ahead and go back on the page where I was looking at. Okay. Next one. Let me skip this one. I apologize, y'all. My face is gonna start running. 6% inflation is devastating to everyday Americans. Rising prices need to be curbed. Okay, so I'm never one to talk about, hey, we got to curb prices, because companies will find shortcuts and getting y'all foods and products and services. Another thing I was talking about on the farm side of things, that's what I meant to finish up. CSA, which is Community Supported Agriculture, is basically you get on an email list, you pay $60 a month, and they drop a box off to your house. Sometimes people pay $120 a month, $200, $300 a month, but you're getting fresh veggies, whatever's in season, to your door. You will see that grow in 2022 to 2025. Why? Because you're going to start seeing the ripple effect of these shortages. And what I've noticed is every time I click on an ad from farms that are marketing bone broth, whatever, in California, in Ohio, in Wisconsin, and they're marketing all the way here in Texas. By the time I click on it, a lot of stuff like on their website sold out, right? A lot of the local farmers, that's how they make their money. They show up at the farmers market. Hey, I have this form. You can fill it out and order your food in advance. It's a good game. It's a good hustle. If you want to be a smaller farmer and grow a certain amount of chickens a year and process a certain amount of chickens a year and make six figures, this is the season in time. Jim Rogers said at one point in time, farmers are going to be driving Lambos, and they laughed him off the interview on CNBC. Who's laughing now? Not many, because it's been for the past 10 years, small 1 acre and under farms, microgreens has been blowing up like crazy. So when they're talking about food inflation, you guys got to watch this really carefully, because this opens the doorway for companies to start using cheaper products, filler products. Your cereal box keeps shrinking, your other food items shrink, your Oreos getting smaller, your cookies getting smaller. I bought some cocoa the other day and it was like 8 packs instead of 10. I was like, dang, they trying to shave it on every corner, but that's what's going to happen. And so for me, I'm buying pretty much all my veggies locally. You see, I did the farmers market video earlier today, so y'all can have that video to show. All I'm doing is shopping locally. If you're in the Carolinas, you already know that. When we went to the beach house, on our way back from the beach house, every little farmer's market place that we saw, if it had fresh fish, we stopped, we bought fish. We bought pecans, other products, because you want to support the local agriculture, because every little, you're buying bags of pecans from this store, but you don't realize that bag of pecans came from the black family with 20 acres of pecans, and they out here picking them up and cracking them and putting them in these bags and selling them at the local farmer's market, right? So that keeps that family circulating income and keeps you circulating income in the city. So again, can you guys see this? Let me see if I make it bigger. There we go. Episodes. Whoops, too big. That's what she said. Anyway, episodes of U.S. inflation. So this is post World War II. Why did a lot of people's families survive? Victory gardens. There's something, I'm going to say this and you guys can get mad. If you are a minority family, Black, Hispanic, whoever, and you're complaining on the TV or the internet about living in a food desert, what did your family do in Puerto Rico before they got here? What did your family do in Cuba? What did your families do if you're from somewhere else, or you're from Mexico or wherever, or even if you're Black? Your family had a victory garden. or they had a garden, period. There's no reason for me to hear grown women talking about my kids, they eat McDonald's all the time, and I can't cook because I don't have fresh veggies because they're not a grocery store. If you have a patio, if you have a porch, if you have a corner of a backyard, if you have a snippet of a yard, if you have a window, you can literally have pots growing all over your house of peppers and tomatoes and jalapenos and spinach and cabbage and you name it. Right now, I've got spearmint growing. I've got red cabbage for the fall. I've got two lemon trees just bolted down with lemons, right? All that stuff gonna go in my juicer at the end of the day. But this is a way to fight inflation, farms, and also victory gardens, aka backyard gardens. You'll notice on Instagram a lot of what we would call, be careful here, the ideal modern white farmhouse girl living in Nashville with a victory garden in her backyard, and she doing Pinterest things and she writing a blog. We would mock that, but to me, that's ideal living. Husband go to work, she at home watching these kids, she writing a blog, it's bringing in income, she's taking pictures, she's got a garden in the backyard, she's got a dog or two or a couple chickens. Old girl gonna live longer than most of us. Something go left, she's straight, she got chickens, she got food, she gonna be good, okay? She got the pew pew at the house, she's good. She's fighting inflation. You just don't realize that. So again, this is episodes of U.S. inflation. Again, post-World War II, Korean War, late 1960s, the oil shocks. If you guys look at this spike where it has 1980, what is the lowest birth rate in the United States in the past 40 years? 1980. Why 1980? We were in a real, absolute real, a real depression. See, so again, this is Skynet. We have 500 people watching, but Skynet is only alerted 10% of my audience. You dig what I'm saying? So you help me by, if you could right now, just drop a 1 in the comments. Just drop a 1 in the comments. It does nothing but help us out over here. Showing engagement, showing what people like the conversation, yada, yada, yada. Gut and remodel basement apartments. Yep, they're doing that. Oh, okay. Okay. Farming will be huge. Yep. That's right. All the roadside stands. Yeah. There you go. Farmers be driving it. They be driving them 100,000 F-150s, living their best life. I'm just telling you. Pecans are a big deal. Kids get paid one time. Yeah, we talked about quick certification earlier. I'm telling you, they cut back on them ingredients, man. You know, if you go look on YouTube right now, there's thousands of videos on farming, on people watching farming. Trust me, it's coming back. You know, you can do that in Jersey. If you got a patio, you can do it. If you got a balcony, you can do it. Hydroponics in the kitchen, yeah, all that stuff. Thank y'all for providing engagement for the channel, showing the YouTube, the Skynet that we out here. Thank you. Say, hey, kid. That's right. Interest rates were 12 to 18%. So you bought a house. If you meet people who paid off a house from 1980s, I've met people with 18%, 22% interest on their house, y'all. Now, again, I have one aunt. She bought a house, I think, in 1981 or 2, and it was only a $60,000 house. But by the time she finished paying for it, it was insane the amount she paid for it. It was a top of the line house back then. Most houses in that area were $50K, and she got an $80K house. So you do the math on that. There you go. I mean, it's possible. People keep trying to sleep on it. CMOS be selling. Vertical garden. Yep. Yep. I'm telling you, every day. There you go. I'm telling you, listen, you go in parts of Chicago, you'll see backyards full of potted plants and all that stuff. Okay, so also another one. Let me see if I'm going over to my next article I had for y'all. Get over here. But yeah, this is Iraq invades Kuwait, gas spikes, supply chain disruptions that were going up. So just pay attention. This is inflation. You see the next one. This is, sometimes I find some of these are good, some of them are whack. All right, so look, SUV. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all I want a Tesla because it's just smarter. Number one, buy rather than rent. In an inflationary period, rent versus buy decision. I know a lot of people arguing, well, I'm not buying a house. I don't want to own a house and all this other stuff. Grant Cardone owned a house, and he the number one person telling you don't buy a house. And he in Miami. So, do with that what you will. Also, when I talk about heavy metals, getting your percentages back in heavy metals. What are the two type of heavy metals I'm talking about? I'm going to talk about watches. I'm going to talk about machinery or equipment that you have in your house that can be valuable. But mostly gold, silver. Gold, silver, like if you really want to do the trifecta, gold, silver, ammo. I remember I was on a website and ammo was selling like $100 a box at one point in time. And this was like during the transition of Obama versus Trump or something like that. And then again, when Trump was going out and Biden was coming in, I mean, they were buying them off the shelf. You couldn't get them anywhere. There were places backdoored. You couldn't get a hand, like there were handguns that were $700 that I just bought the same gun the previous year for $499. A Glock. So again, when I talk about buy rather than rent, I'm not talking about buying boats. I'm not talking about buying jet skis. I'm not talking about buying Peloton bikes. I'm talking about gold, silver, ammo, guns, watches. These are all things that are resellable, keep their value, actually increase in value. And if you notice, and a lot of y'all aren't awake enough to see that, but if you notice, there's this big trend under all these real estate investors. Some of them are over leveraged. I understand that. It happens. They running out buying watches. Oh yeah, look at all these watches. I got a watch collection. Look at this. Look at all these watches. I got 100 watches. Why do you have 100 watches? It's when someone is trying to hold their money. They don't want to put their money in more real estate. Aisha Selden even says, I watched several of her interviews today. She hasn't bought a house since 2018 because she said we at the top. And she's like, it keeps going up. This is a person who's been buying houses for 20 years and gets over $30,000 a month income in rental properties. And she quit buying in 2018. So just to kind of get your head in the game, if you think it's high now, wait till, again, I keep telling y'all, 2022, gonna show y'all these foreigners are coming in and they're gonna keep them numbers pretty daggone high. Pretty daggone high. Finance your home with a mortgage. Again, you're basically just drawing out the payments. Get an auto loan. Y'all, some of that's stupid. Improve your energy efficiency. Now, this part I can agree with. Solar panels for your house, I promise you, long term is the best investment you're going to make. Lots of incentives, a lot of write-offs, a lot of, if you get away, the way Tesla's coming into Texas, the way Tesla is a tech company pretending to be a car company, which is also an energy company. Tesla is like a transformer doll. It's a transformer. Again, when you see what they're going to do with solar here, and just this past week when I was trying to get a Tesla, I was trying to order one brand new. They were like, "Girl, we ain't got none. We ain't got it. Do you want this used one? No, I want to use one. I want a brand new one. We ain't got it. I need to order it with my business. You have to wait till next year." I'm like, this is insane. So trust me, like windows, if you want to change windows in your house, your AC unit, this is a good time to do it. That's all I'm saying. Prepare for shortages. Again, y'all, I can't beat the doornail hard enough. Buy long-lasting durable products. Follow a budget. Some of y'all need to learn how to sew. Let me see my other article I had. I had a couple more. Then I'm gonna go to stocks. The worst tax. This is a good one. The worst tax is a savings account. Historically, you should own 4% with a savings account, while inflation grows at 7%. Again, I remember this guy describing it. If you don't have a business, and the business is the umbrella of writing off all these taxes, all these tax benefits, incentives, you're throwing $20 out the window every day. Now let's do the math. If you save $28 a day for a year, that's $10,000. Are you wasting $10,000? I don't know. Everybody's budget's different, but I can tell you right now, when Robert Kiyosaki says savers are losers, people got mad. But when you're in a market where the inflation's so high, it just doesn't make sense. So invest in a home. Again, it doesn't have to be a home you live in. It could be a different home. I'm going to get to that one last about real estate because I'm going to show you about 3 different ones, I think. 3 different houses, and I'm going to show you why this is important, why this makes sense, why you get 20% returns on real estate, why even though through this whole pandemic, all the rich people are buying land at astronomical rates. They're buying land left and right. They're buying farms. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they just buying up every piece of little land they can find. Why I'm buying up land in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. Whenever I see a little $10,000 lot somewhere, I'm like, hey, anybody in my family, you want to go in half? I found another little lot. Trust me, it makes sense in the long term. You see here. So anyway, what's my next one? All right. So let me check your comments real quick, and then we're going to go on to stocks, but a particular type of stock, not just dividend stock. I'm talking about energy stocks because, we'll have a conversation on that. But thank you, Other Z, for joining, new member. Let me see here. In Mexico, oh yeah, Mexico, they grow a little fresh fruit out their window. I'm pretty sure. Tell them, get to Googling them certifications. And we have another Tech Tuesday coming up. I forgot who's coming. I think Master at IT, I think is coming. I just got a raise in my career as a traveling nurse of 50%. Listen, you got traveling nurses making crazy bank. Yep. I think I know you're talking about, Journey. Get a contract over restaurants for sure. Yeah. I made a killing with CMOS. Congratulations. You have to, okay. So John Dixon said you can't subscribe to a channel from a smartphone app. You have to use a browser window. I found that out yesterday. Thank you. Travel nurses make $8 million a month plus bonuses. Stop it. There's a woman who used to make flan for a local restaurant. It was so good. Mm-hmm. We grow potatoes in 40-gallon storage bins. We are in the city. You can do it. Exactly. People will find a way, or they'll find excuses. That's all there is to it. I want a house and a backyard. Listen, you literally could just take there's a family. They're the most famous one in California. They have 0.10 they have a sliver of a backyard, and they're backed up against a highway, and they have this ridiculous farm that has like 4 goats, and they got all these fruits and vegetables, and they sell to stores, they sell to restaurants, and they're in California. Yep, Composting World. Annex Group, if you actually look on Blue Collar Millionaire Show, they actually had a guy on there who was selling worms, made a lot of money. He made his millions of dollars selling worms. Fruit and plant trees for sale. Yep. Watches, gold, silver, brass. Scrapping will be business as well. Oh, yes. Huge business. Here's the thing. I buy $25 at a time. I just chunk $25. Whatever I can get at $25, that's what I do. And I'll break that more down in the blog. Yep. Bottom line, percent of people starting looking down at growing on home. Now people are waking up to it being healthy as well as survival. Mm-hmm. Music instruments. Yes, pianos. You'll always see a huge sale of pianos all of a sudden. Yep. Listen, F9 57 ammo was $110 a box. There you go, Mr. Fantastic. My dad had an insane watch collection. Thank you, Laddie Boo. Laddie Bo. Sorry, my bad. For $10 sticker. That's my whole thing. Every time somebody talks about, oh, I'm in a food desert, I'm like, honey, your children, the feeding of your children is your responsibility. Now, 19 Keys, you can love them or like them, you can whatever for his style, flash. He was like, mothers are creating criminals at the dinner table. Now, I laughed, but I didn't laugh because I've seen people literally load their kids up on soda, sugar, and then mad because they doing a video and in the background, little Jerome is bouncing off the walls, or you just gave him a soda, and then you gave him some Skittles, and then you gave him and he's 4. What are you expecting this child to do? You just pumped him full of sugar. I remember watching this one channel on Instagram and they got in trouble because they had their little kids on a treadmill, right? Like it was late. It was supposed to be like 10 o'clock at night and they had a kid behind them and they're watching them walk on this treadmill. And they're like, when they don't go to sleep on time, you got to get a little walk in them. That was a normal, healthy thing. I'd rather them have them walking on the treadmill where they can watch them than out walking around the neighborhood at 10 o'clock at night with a 4-year-old. So again, if you're complaining of food desert, you're complaining of lack of options for your children, you should be investing in potted plants. This just is what it is. Ryan, that's, hey, it's a business idea. Welcome for joining, new member. It'll still be a sliver because the people that think they're rich now are going to find out they're middle class. Like several of my friends who are eye doctors and ear doctors and teeth, they're like, oh, I don't make a ton. And I'm like, you make $350,000 a year. But in their mind, because of how much their degree costs, how much the facility costs, all this stuff, they think they should be making $1 million a year. And it's like, no, baby. No, baby. You're middle class. Yeah, back in 2015, the Rolex dealers were begging people to buy. Again, every time you see the rappers come out, football players, prime example. And y'all gonna think this is crazy, but when Elon Musk built those trucks and said there's only gonna be, I don't know if somebody Google it and look it up for me. There's only gonna be 2,500 of these trucks ever made. And people are like, oh, those are ugly, those are stupid, those are ugly. And they were sold out in a day. How hard will it be to get another one of those trucks? You're going to have to pay someone of wealth to sell you that truck because there's only a select amount made. It's a collector's item. It's a collector's item. Right? That's the thing. People don't understand. That's a collector's item. Secondary market, Legos have outperformed stock, gold, and other assets. Yeah. Yep. They were back order. They were back order for a while. They're not a year right now, but they were certain models were back order. Sherry, the best thing she ever bought was land. I'm telling you guys, farmland is the best. Right now, you got a lot of people wanting to be homesteaders and they can't afford to buy the land, but they'll rent from you. So again, $20. Thank you for the super sticker, Comforty. Thank you. What's up, Comforty new member? Welcome, Marcus Lightfoot. Hey man, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll post the blog, the 2 links to the blog, because some people have been asking me to talk more on why am I doing this whole juicing thing and vitamin D and all that other stuff. And I really don't want to make this channel more conflated. And so I just put it over in that blog and talk about fibroids and health and all the other stuff over on that blog. And then I have another blog. And essentially it's kind of like, laddering your wealth, but that's not the name of it. And essentially I'm going to make a volume part 2 of the book I did, not Smart Millionaire, but the Ladder Income book. I'm going to make a volume 2 and show you basically like my goal, I'm not there exactly, but my goal is to make $100,000 to $150,000 a month. Not just so I can be like, oh, I'm so rich, but because the way inflation is going and the 3 products I want to invest in, which is really just a couple farms, raw land to build some houses on, and a couple vacation homes in North Carolina. I mean, like when I break it down, you'll see it on the blog, and I'll have a link. I'll post it on the community page when I do it. Thank you for coming to YouTube, member. Yeah, bullion, silver coins, stuff like that. Yeah, I just try to keep it under 25. Why the baby got to be the baby can be Michelle, it can be Jordan, it can be anybody. That's what I'm saying. And they end up getting in trouble. They were like, I can't believe people are saying all these things. Yeah. Hey, everybody, look at the companies that create automation or robot software. This is about to get serious. I'm reading up on it as we speak. Dr. Dix is either coming on Monday or next week sometime. We have a crazy schedule. We have some of our guests have gotten the bid, quotation marks, so they're not going to be able to come on Monday. But I do have Tuesday is Tech Tuesday, I think. Wednesday is flipping medical commodities. Thursday is flipping pallets. Friday, I'm talking about the violence. I'm going to see if Diamond Dave has time. I'm talking about the violence in these major cities and what to expect and why is it getting high? Why are certain jails going to get refilled back up? We're going to break down into that conversation piece. How can someone join? You can always email our staff at admin@classyclimbers.com. We always try to have a panel of people talking about that are knowledgeable. DT crypto, that's part of it. It can be, but so can every single thing, right? So DT crypto, prime example with your name. How does the federal government have so much crypto right now? Through literally forfeiture, assetry. They've literally through government, sheriff, police auctions have the highest, like just the huge bunches of crypto from literally. Oh, I think he's a criminal. Oh, we can't prove he's a criminal yet, so we're confiscating everything he has. That can be everything you have can be confiscated. I know people have this idea, well, I have this wallet and it's secure. Everything you have and can touch can be confiscated. You do have to be willing to defend everything. Everything. So anyway, but let me go ahead and so if you guys can see, this is, let me see if I can find the Instagram post real quick because this guy made this point and I was like, this is perfect. And it's Ace Invest. Let me see if I can get back to his page. I know you guys probably won't be able to hear it, but whatever. Invest with S. He talks a lot about Indiana, right? A lot of you guys are always saying this guy's in California and he's never flown to any of these places, but he literally does what? Invest over the internet. So again, hope you guys can see this. You're talking about cash prices, right? He put over $20,000 into these, and so he's getting $650 dividend checks, $500 dividend checks. Now, you can see it for yourself. Dividend stock is the conversation, but when you're in California, two ways. If you're going to tell me, Ericka, the gas is crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. What I'm going to recommend to you is for you to invest in one, a Tesla, right? I've seen video of Todd Milley passing by gas stations with lines down the street, and he's just driving by in his Tesla, right? All right. I'm going to encourage you to get a Tesla, one. And then two, I'm going to encourage you to invest in where you're hurting. Just like when I'm talking about farms, I'm talking about going to farmers markets. You're hurting in food, get where the food is. If you're hurting and having enough income, have a business. I'm not saying leave your job. I've never said that on this channel, but having a side hustle, which we could talk about hustles all day, but hustles are basically, if organized, are mini businesses. That's all they are. So now let's go on over here. This is ExxonMobil stock is $61. Now somebody can say, well, Ericka, $61, you have to buy thousands and thousands of dollars. My goal ultimately over the next 3 years is to buy $1 million in stock, not just one stock, but stocks that are dividend based that give me anywhere from 5% returns to 10% returns. First thing somebody's going to tell you is like, oh, that's not possible. That's crazy. That's too high. I'm going to do a whole article about dividend stocks again because I think people get lost in the sauce, but you need to go on dividend.com. Now, I'm going to give you a prime example. If I were to go to Cleveland and buy a $80,000 duplex, I may get back $1,000 a month right now. Maybe $1,500. It depends on the property, but a good $1,000 a month. You're gonna say, Ericka, that's $12,000. That's a good return. If I put $80,000, and again, this is a hypothetical, y'all, into a ExxonMobil that's giving 5.7% returns. Okay, I'm gonna get $4,616 a year. Now you're gonna say, well, Ericka, that's lower than the house. But what's the issue that we have with the house? Tenants, laws, property taxes. We have one property in Cleveland where the property taxes are $2,700. We only make $1,600 a month in rent. And then on top of that, the property manager gets 10%. So it's almost taking 2 months of rent to get our property taxes paid. So again, if I put 80,000 into the ExxonMobil and I got out $4,600, I divided by 12 months, that's $384. What is something you hear bigger pockets on a lot of these websites and podcasts say? Well, if every door is making $200 to $100 to $200, I'm winning. That's $384 a month. And I don't have a door. I don't have a plumber. I don't have any of that. Part of why I'm doing the blog and talking about ladder income is you don't have to put $80,000 down at one lump sum time. If you don't do that by $100 a week, every week for a year, you're still going to get 5.7% returns on your money. Okay? That's ExxonMobil. Let's go on over here to ET Energy Transfer. Okay? This is out of headquarters out of Dallas, Texas. Again, this is not stock advice. This is just something I personally am doing. This is, if you see my Instagram clips, I'm showing you from my actual website, my actual stock profiles, the amount I'm having in there. Okay. So here's Energy Transfer, $8.22. Their dividend, if I'll screen it up a little bit, their dividend is 7.42%. Now you're like, Ericka, that's all? Okay. So let's say I have that same $80,000. I'm just going to go times 7.42% interest. I'm getting back $5,936 for the year. Okay, divide that by 12 months. That's $494 a month. Now you're going to say, well, if I had $80,000, I'd do this and that. Most of us don't have a lump sum $80,000 at one time. We build it up over time. Okay? So let's get that out of our head. Like, oh, if I had $80,000 one time. Again, you literally can take loan against your stock portfolio. In M1 Finance, you just take a loan against your stock portfolio in E-Trade. So let's say for 3 years, I'm just stocking money away, and then I take a loan out against that money. I can still go buy an investment property. Okay. And yes, this is a quarterly dividend, but at the end of the day, I'm just showing you as an example. All right. It's $8.22 right now. Let me go for 6 months. All right. Super red. Let's go for a year. Super green. All right. So if I didn't do nothing, but just stack this dividend stock. Okay. Let me go over to Hess. All right. It shows you your past dividend date payouts. You can always show more. Okay. Let me go like this. All right. It shows his past performance. Summary here. It's $26 at the moment. And I think it's at 7.6% dividend, right? What is the dividend? Dividend is 7.64, right? So again, why am I showing this? Because there's going to be someone saying gas is so high and you're fighting gas and why are you crying about gas? You know gas is going to be high. You already know that. What's the problem here? You already know this is part of the game. Gas goes up and it goes down. How are you going to fight against gas? I'm telling you, Catherine, go interview any older Black person that's 75 to 90 years old in good health. Not nobody who's 600 pounds, but in good health. They'll tell you when they were little, they ate mostly vegetables all week long. Dr. Dixie's recruiter's going to get where they can get in. Thank you, Dr. Dix. Talking about jobs becoming, I heard Elon Musk and Eric say UBI is being created to handle the extreme loss of jobs expected in the next decade. I'm gonna tell you like this: there are people who, if UBI came on tomorrow, it would improve their life, just because they're that poor. All right, like they're living in the middle of nowhere. They don't plan on leaving from the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? There you go. There you go. You have to put crypto if you have crypto on your tax returns now. I know people don't believe it. People don't believe grass is green. Yep, that's why I'm planning to see an asset protection attorney. Gas is up 51%. I own 20 shares of Exxon, buying more now. So you're going to ask me, Ericka, well, how do I buy fractional shares of stuff? I have a Stockpile account. You can buy fractional shares through there. It's one of the ones I recommended from the book. I tested a lot of these different apps out when I wrote Smartphone Millionaire, how to invest in people, businesses, and real estate from the palm of your hand. But I will say I've kept my E-Trade account since college, Stockpile account, M1 Finance. Robinhood, I'm literally locked out, and I have like $4,000 locked in there. I can't get it out, so it's insane. But there'll be more apps in the future to review. Beef is up 39%. Exactly. Remember, everyone, this is not investment advice. Disclaimer, as Johnny Bravo says, this is not investment advice. Don't. This is investment advice. It's just what I do. I follow up on Tesla electric job. They need everyone. They really do. Listen, I've paid. I had a client call me. She had an investment property in the some neighborhood in Chicago. She hadn't seen it in 2 years. By the time we got that phone, I reached out on my phone through Instagram, found 6 people to go drive by her property and take pictures. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn how to talk to people on this man's internet. Relationships are important. Dealing with people is important, because at the end of the day, that's how things get done. So these are just certain ones I've shown, but let me see if I can click on my best recommendation to y'all is go on dividend.com, and don't take my word for it. This is an investment advice, everybody, it's a disclaimer. But if you're going to cry all day about gas, energy, you need to be buying things that give you a return. And this is dividend.com. You literally can pick high yield, monthly dividend stocks, the dates, resources, read it, retire, all this stuff. You literally can go in here and just go crazy. And that's why when people are like, oh yeah, I got 3% from AT&T. I'm like, I would never buy that. For what? But again, if I had AT&T as a phone provider, I would buy it. But I don't. So something for y'all to look at. My last one is going to be real estate. Let me go find this thing here real quick. Oh, sorry. She said, excuse me, beef is up 24%. Rentals up. Car rentals up 39%. Stocks don't have tenants, baby. Now, REITs do have tenants, but that's another conversation. That's the thing. You can get in and out of them. The thing about REITs, Hilton, I love REITs, but I'm also a little like timid on REITs, because all these REITs have a lot of this commercial property that you see in New York and all these places in it. And so my whole conversation, when you see half of Billionaire Row empty, you see all these places in Manhattan, and you see Louis Rossman going every day up and down the streets of New York showing you all these empty buildings. Those are inside those REITs. I'm about to say that for another day, because they ain't going to do it. There's too many lobbyists. I'm at 6K in dividends for the 2006. That's $500 a month. I can pass that on to my children. Congratulations, Michelle Green. Exactly. Listen, I'm telling you, Mac Jones just gave every single member of his football team Bitcoin. Now, I don't know what all of them guys going to do, but I'm pretty sure some of them going to lose it. They're going to give it away. They're going to sell it, all that kind of stuff. Y'all, listen, I'm going to just say it like this. I could hire people in my office for $18 an hour to do all kind of stuff, right? There's going to be people who like, why should I leave my house when I have $1,000 check? I know y'all think that's insane, Ericka. Nobody will do that. Look how many people live in these houses nowadays. You'll have a family with 6 people in the house. 6 people getting $1,000 check, and they all just say, hey, let's just put together and pay rent and buy food and pay the light bill. Psh, trust me. Y'all think it's a joke. Y'all think it's a joke. This is true. We need a Classy Climb Stock Club. Listen, I might let y'all run that because it's like, I don't want to tiptoe into the financial advice situation because, they'll be like, you giving out financial advice. I'm like, no, I'm not. I promise I'm not doing it. I'm telling you, 96 years old. Listen, my mom, there's pictures of my mom and me and my sisters as kids. And they were like, did y'all mom starve, y'all? Y'all look so bony. We're like, this is right before we moved to Alaska. And it was like, my mom didn't eat meat. She said it was making her stomach upset. And she ran in the military every day. So the military got you running every day up and down the road. You don't want no upset stomach running up and down the road every day. Just going to say it like that. So it's one of those things where even now where I'm telling people, hey, I'm be juicing every day and I'm probably going to get down to like 1 meal a day or whatever. And they're like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, dude, I've been sick this past 2 weeks and like all I had every day was 1 meal. And I was sick. Now that's because I was sick. But at the end of the day, like different things happen. You can do it. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I like M1 Finance, but when I started buying them on Stockpile, Stockpile's my little baby. But M1 Finance is good. And also, too, let's be clear about UBI. Right now in the United States, because everybody's like, oh, it'll never happen. I see you guys' comments, and I'll just put it to you this way. 50% of all children in America right now today have one person in their household who is getting some type of government assistance. So 50% of all children alive in the United States right now. Now, what qualifies as government assistance? It could be your grandma getting Social Security. It could be your mama getting Medicaid, Medicare for y'all in the house. It could be food stamps. It could be anything. So if you already know 50% of all children already are getting this, what would be the leap to say, hey, we're going to start, instead of giving you guys a tax child credit at the end of the year when you fill out your taxes, we're going to spread that out over the year. You got one kid, that's $3,000. We'll spread it out over 12 months. That's $300 check a month. You saw where they talked about in Georgia where they're going to give the $850 to Black women. And people were going crazy. Oh, they're going to kick their men out the house. If you kicking a man out of the house for $850, there's some other problems there. Now, I'm going to point this out. See if I got, LRA Movement did a video earlier, and I comment under it. And the next thing I'm going to go to is the real estate, y'all. I know, I'm sorry. I'm stalling a little bit here. I apologize. LRA Movement, here it is. And I was laughing about it, but this is something you're going to see more of. Can y'all see my screen? Y'all can't even see my screen. And then we can go over to land. Okay, so LR Movement, here it is. Let me see if I pull it up. Right here, his video. Let me click on it. Walking in a winter poly winterland. Now, he's talking about an article that's on there. Definitely watch it. Get a good laugh out of it. Let me see if I can zoom in. Right here. This man with these two women that look special. That's all I'm going to say. Long and the story short, they're living in Houston. They're broke. They're living 3 adults, and then his 21-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old baby are living in the house. And people acting like, yeah, that man's cool. He's poly. No, this is a situation where one woman is so broke, right? She can't just leave this man she's been with for all these years who cheated on her. She's like, let's just move this other woman in. Now this other woman had a baby for you, and let's just go there. If LRA Movement said it, not me. Stay in Houston. There's men and immigrant folk everywhere. These ladies could get a man if they wanted one. Houston, they just drop a man out the sky. If LRA Movement said this, not me. He said if one of these women, either one of them, just worked out on themselves, took care of themselves, and said, "Hey, I'm not gonna put up with this, and I'm gonna leave," they could go get their own man. You're gonna see more stories like this, but these people are struggling. They're in the hood of Houston. They're not even in the good part of Houston. And they got 3 working adults and this grown man's 21-year-old daughter living at the house and a 1-year-old baby. And they're living in the hood in a 2-bedroom apartment. I think a 3. But my point is, that's how broke people are. They're so financially broke that they're like, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's all live together. And they still, even these three, don't have enough money to get a house. Do you understand how dire straits we are right now? So when people say, oh, UBI will never happen, honey, these people are moving from other states to live in the middle of nowhere. And then they still get into situations like this. Okay? There you go. No Section 8 Medicaid here. Yeah, just straight up a check. You'll see this coming. It's going to happen. Michelle Green, I've actually looked for actual just buy self-storage units. So yeah, I'm bringing that up because I want you to understand, like, Eller Movie was making fun of it. He's like, that's pathetic, right? And it is. It's sad in many ways, but you have to realize there are folks out there who they not making no money. Common sense would say one of those women could go make more money and don't have to live like that. But again, it's the people you're dealing with. So I'm gonna go ahead and share y'all this real quick. This one, yeah, I'm gonna do one for the beach and one for Ohio. Hold on a second. Pull this out. Pull this up real quick. Real quick. Let me get it. Well, can I pull it? Here comes my closing. And I'm gonna talk to y'all about 20% returns and what that looks like. Well, I need a good one. I think this one will work right here. This will work. Yeah, this will work. Let me get another one. Ohio. Let me, hold on, y'all. Pulling it up. Here comes the close. Here comes the close. Oh, goodness. You know, when you have something you was going to show somebody and then now you can't find it. Well, I tell you, it's one of them days. Hold on, y'all. Almost there. But part of why people will continue to invest in real estate and why I'm continuing to invest in real estate, even, you know, just buying land, is because I could build a house cheaper than some of this stuff they sell on this internet. But I'm going to show you in a second. Pull a decent one that's cheap, though. Okay. And if you're in the comments, if you own real estate, drop a like in the comments for me. Drop a 2 if you own real estate in the comments while we're waiting to pull this up. Okay. This one will do. This is just fun. All right. So let me go ahead and share you the first one and tell you why someone would do this. What's the point of this? And then we'll drop it down back to land. The last one. Okay, so this is Carolina Beach. This wasn't the beach my family was at last week. We were actually further up Kitty Hawk, whatnot. Let me know if you can see it. You're gonna say, Ericka, $1 million for this whole thing? No, $1 million for one unit, just one side of it. So the whole thing together is gonna be 2.4 thousand, 2.4. So now you're gonna say, Ericka, that's $5,000 mortgage a month. Why would you do this for this property? I'm gonna lay out for why I would do this for this property that you're seeing on the screen. These properties rent out for $5,000 a week on average, and in the month of July, $6,000 to $7,000 a week on average. So one of these vacation rentals, the gross, not net, I'm gonna tell you the difference. Gross is gonna get you about $250,000 a year. Gross, sometimes $270,000, and they have elevators in them. Now, once you pay fees, you pay your mortgage, you do all that stuff, you're gonna walk away about $110,000 to $130,000 a year after everything's said and done. because the company handles in those areas the cleaning, the turnaround, the website, and they trust me. They take a healthy, position on the money to do so. And so, you think, well, what's the point of this? Trust me. This is when someone say, how can I get big returns on my money? Let's say you have I'm just saying you're going to have let's say you call Kareem, you ask for a pre-approval, and they're like, hey, man, you got to put 20% down on this property. So 20% down already on this property is what, you guys? And this is just one side. We didn't buy the other side. We're just buying one side. And the reason I'm showing you this, because many people will be in New York and you're talking about $1 million homes, New York, Virginia, parts of Miami. I'm just going to show you the difference, right? So this is $1 million times 20. Let's say you got to put 25% down. 25% down is $297,000. Now that's not even your closing cost and your furniture. The furniture of this house, if it was a house without furniture, that's probably another $40,000. So you're going to spend about $337,000 on this property the first year, and you're going to get a return on your money about $125,000 after all said and done. You basically got like 27% returns on your overall money, but if you actually do the calculation the way they like to do it, like let's say 127,000 divided by the money you actually put in that year, let's say 350, just for sake of argument, you got a 36% return on your money that year. And again, there's some calculators that it's a couple different ways to do it. And some of y'all may be in a comment like, no, Ericka, it's actually, if you put, 350,000 into that property and you got almost 36% of your money back, you're doing well. Now let's just go there, right? So this person's going to be paying on this property for the next 10, 15 years, depending on the mortgage they got. And they're going to be making 125,000. This is net, not gross, because gross is about 260 a year times the next 10 years. In 10 years, they would have made $2.6 million off this house. Does that make sense for everybody in here? Is that making sense? If you're confused, if I lost you, if it don't make sense, I am still on the Dayquil. Help me out if you got that, if you understood what I'm talking about. And again, the beach is right there. You literally walk out of your house and come around the corner to the beach. Yellow is you. That's the beach. And trust me, all these properties you see, stay booked. They only aren't booked for 3 weeks of the year. There's some properties I went to look at to purchase with family, and they were already booked for the next 2 years. And how you book them is you have to put half the deposit up. So let's say, and this is a house with 5 bedrooms. There are houses with 7 and 8 bedrooms. They get 16 grand a week. You have to put half the money down. So the way our family does it every week, we'll be in a 19 or 20 bedroom house. We put, 8 grand down the year before, and then we pay the rest maybe 30 days or 60 days before it's time to go to the property. And trust me, this is a way of life. Like when the pandemic first hit, there were New Yorkers who bought out months in these particular types of houses. And smaller ones, not this big, some smaller. Did everybody understand that? How I got those percents, how I got those interest rate numbers? If not, please tell me. Everybody keeps saying that, and that actually cracks me up, like to no end. They're like, you look really young with the braids. I'm like, thanks, I guess. My sister thinks that's funny. And Asia from Denson Construction said, what are you doing? Does you look like a kid? Joseph Majors, I have money invested with Cardone Capital. He has a lot of fees. And again, y'all, I have to say this like this in the nicest way possible. I invest with that person because my personal convictions, and I still get return on my money. And the fact remains is if you want to get a better deal, you're going to have to do it yourself. A lot of people think they're going to give you $2 and you're going to give them money forever. It just, that's not how it works. That's not how investing works. That's not how anything works. He has a lot of fees, but what you'll notice if you actually go study a lot of people's investment groups, you're putting $100K down, you don't get your money out for 5 years, and you're getting a check monthly to the end of the deal, and you get the mass payout at the end. That's very common. That's very common. Nothing about his deal is too out of the ordinary, but when you actually read it, when you actually pull out the perspectives and you actually get the contract and read it, you'll see how many fees he takes out. It's huge, crazy. Yeah, this is for entertainment only. This is financial entertainment. So congratulations, man. There's a joke, John. I'm just going to tell you, there's certain people, I don't know if it's the Viking blood or the Polish blood or the European blood. I've seen white people go straight meat diet and look amazing, lose a ton of weight and look amazing. I've seen black people go straight vegetarian and lose 60 pounds and look amazing. Tony B, I would just go watch a lot of the videos, honestly. Watch a lot of the videos, determine what you're trying to do, and work from there. Girl, cheese and dairy will mess you up. I've been on, this is, every time y'all see me these coffees, these are all oat milk. That's all they are, oat milk. And I can tell when like they've gotten the order wrong. I can tell you that. My grandparents ate veggies because they couldn't afford to have meat every day. Meat was for Sunday dinners, holidays, special occasions. This is very common. And so when you hear people up north, no disrespect to the north, but I got to go there, talking about they having soul food. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's not. Wow. My father's in a nursing care home in Brooklyn. His girlfriend is paying $15K a month. I offered to care for him and she paid me $5K and she declined. I mean, it is what it is. It's real. That's what I'm saying. They are struggling. 2 women, an adult daughter, and they still ain't in a house in Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me tell you something. If I was that man, I'd be working for UPS truck and gone. It's crazy. 4 adults in a house times $30K per person should be $120K a year household. You living in the hood because you want to live there. Sherry, the business plan writer, and I'll go look up the article, but I bet every single one of them got a new car. I bet. These are the type of people that can't quit weed to find. You're talking about? Oh yeah, this is Bear Performance Nutrition shirt, BPN. Yeah, this was I knew them before they blew up kind of shirt. Yeah, but yeah, I always wear their shirts. That's what I'm telling you. $850 for single moms isn't really going to help them. An extra $10,000 a year is not enough money to lift them out of poverty. Even when y'all are watching me and I say, "Hey, buy one rental house a year for 10 years, it'll change your life." That first year, you gave yourself a $12,000 raise. You keep doing that. By year 3, you gave yourself an extra $36,000 raise. Dude, you replaced the whole person's income. By the time you get to year 7, people can't tell you nothing. You out here stunting hard. And so a lot of times people are like, oh, I just need 10 properties and I can be retired. Well, if you're doing the burst strategy and you're getting them, you're going to get over leverage. You're maxing them out. But that's another conversation. I'm going to show you the other property. But did everybody get this one? This high-end vacation rental? Everybody get it? Thank you, Marcus Lightfoot. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, Santos, you shouldn't have shared that large video. The He-Man space is going to push that winter is here Polyland story all week. I mean, these people are in poverty. This isn't like he is providing a house and cars, and this is struggle. Those people are struggling. If any one of those adults lose their job next week, they're going to have a problem. I promise you, they're going to have a problem. They're going to be on food stamps. That's the struggle. It's struggle living. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to raise any children like that. It could, Cherry. It depends on the person and the mindset. But overall, $850, I don't know. I don't know if that really changed it for them. Okay, y'all got some rentals in here. Congratulations. Listen, come on, Purple Pros. That's different. This man is sleeping with 2 women. If you go read the article, that's what's so sad about it. They sleep in one bed. They 1-year-olds in the crib. The 21-year-old daughter's in the other room. They in a 2-bedroom in Houston, where you can go get a big old house for no money in Houston. Oh, you live in NC, you already know. Get your cleaning contracts up. Yeah. 200K. 200K. Listen, I'm telling you. Did y'all get the understanding how I got that percentages? Okay, I'm just making sure everybody understood it. It didn't sound crazy. COC cost of return. Yes. So here's the thing. Tam, you may want to do Florida. I do North Carolina because it's such a North Carolina Outer Banks living is such a cultural existence for the whole state. South Carolina has 13 beaches. North Carolina has 13 beaches. Those places are full of New Yorkers. Every year we go down there, it's like people from all over. Oh my God, I'm in North Carolina Outer Banks. It's a big thing. It's a way of life. And for me, I would personally be there because it's 2 hours away from where my family lives, and they could come hang out with me for the 3 weeks. It is what's called. So Florida has its uses, but I don't want it. When you use property like that for personal use, what are your considerations you think about? So, John, normally people don't have, normally the last week of August, when school starts for children in the next 2 weeks of September, most of the properties are empty around the whole area. The last year, I would say for the end of the year, July 31st, a lot of the properties charge like 10K for the week because a lot of times the owners want to be there. So you make a lot of money off these properties, but I would just block out the time you want to stay there. And at most I do 3 weeks because then I would make sure they had repairs, anything that need to happen. Yeah, I would say eating your blood type. Houston has a ton of cheap houses. Ton of cheap houses. There's no reason for them to live like that. Do you know your blood type? So that's the thing. I would say there's certain foods I eat that I just feel better. Yes, Clean Money Glibs. We actually have a video with Cameron Lee on the Tech Tuesday playlist. You can just go on the playlist and find him. He's on there in Dan Alice. I mean, thank you, Anthony Brian Long. Poor people habits. 10K will get spent on garbage. It really will be. And again, this is just like this struggle living. This is a choice. And the last video, I'm going to pull it out of the video. I'm going to cut the segment. But I want y'all to understand, like, if you want someone to say, oh my God, you're black, you can't make it in America, this ain't the channel for you. You want to say you're white, you're whoever, you can't make, they're just really, the excuses are gone. And again, I keep telling y'all, we have 52% of millennials buying homes, getting married, doing all this stuff. And you go on YouTube, you think everybody in the sky is falling. It's really a choice for some of these folks. So let me go ahead. Yeah, 1 bed for 3 grown people. Telling you, it's terrible. So okay, that was the beach house. I hope y'all understood that. So if you ever online and you hear people talk about luxury lifestyle living, this is what they're talking about, right? The whole Airbnb craze and all that stuff. People will make room in their budget to vacation. Why? So this house right here has 5 bedrooms. 1 kid room has multiple beds. The reason why is to rent a beach house at the hotel on the beach is $400 a night. So if you're a family trying to do the whole family vacation, multiple cousins, for $5,000 for the week, it's still going to be cheaper for y'all to rent these houses than to go to the hotel. This is just North Carolina beach culture. It's same in Florida, but for me, it's just North Carolina. Now here is this Cleveland property, just showing as an example. 6 bedroom, 3 bath. This is a duplex in Cleveland for $170, right? And y'all gonna be like, oh, girl, Cleveland. People gotta live somewhere. Okay? The price point is cheap because there's somebody gonna live there cheap, right? So again, you're gonna get like $850 per unit. And you can see 1 unit's been completely done. 1 unit still needs to be updated, but it's $170. So your mortgage is not that high. I'm just trying to show y'all as an example. Okay. Click it here. Your mortgage is gonna be $700. So basically equivalent of 1 of the units. This is 170,000. I've seen some go for 120, even cheaper, right? Now, you can go on roofstock.com as well. Let me go on over there as another example. Because what's 20% down on this $170,000 house? Somebody put in the comments for me. Okay, over here real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Can y'all see the screen? I hope you can. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, again, I hope I hit everything. Number 1 was business. Number 2 was farms. Number 3 was raw land, get returns. Number 4 is stocks, dividend stocks mostly. And number 5 is real estate. These are the ways you fight it. And again, 6 is always going to be higher paying jobs. But that's where we say with Warren Buffett, reinvest in yourself. I mean, all 3 of them is broke. I mean, I feel like the man cheated on the woman, and she didn't want to go back out there and she didn't want to have to, she like, no, bump it, just move her in, because I don't want to start over. I don't want to have to go change this lifestyle. So, you know what I mean? Common sense, I keep telling people. So, Anthony Brian Logan, we haven't had a hurricane in 5+ years, but also the fact is, like, the insurance checks are crazy. Plus, the way that particular area is set up, the sand moves. So, as a native person, like just from the Carolinas, like the sand moves with the years. And so they try to fight it a little bit, but they've started to make people not have their houses right on the water, because as the sand is moving, it's showing you the direction of the next year's hurricane. So they're having issues a little bit in Wilmington and this other place, because Wilmington's closing up, and then this other place is opening, which will completely change the economy out there. But that's a real thing. But we haven't had hurricane in 5 years. I mean, like, it's been a while. I just can't stand Myrtle Beach or Wilmington, but I hear you. I mean, I was just like, ugh, Myrtle. I know that bed stinks. Stop. I'm not even gonna read that. I shouldn't have read that. Is getting into wholesale real estate still a good thing to do? Dark Mama Goddesses, sure. I mean, again, at the end of the day, what did we talk about? What was the criteria? A low cost business with low capital startup. But here's the difference. If you become a wholesaler, what most people don't understand is, I've met wholesalers who are 50 years old. They've been doing it for 20 years. At some point with wholesaling, you have to hold on to some properties, and you have to actually become a flipper. I mean, that just is what it is. If you're always just a middleman for the business, you'll sell out the whole hood and have nothing left in your pocket. Ericka, in your travels, have you noticed increase in eat, live, work properties? Define what that property means. Define what that means. The Outer Banks is love. One of my close friends has family home on the beach. When we were in college, they had no neighbors. I went there 3 months ago. You can't even see the water anymore. Jasmine, that just is what it is. It's very common. Yes, migration pattern. Yeah. 34,000. Thank you. 34,000 is the number I needed. Thank you so much, y'all. To buy that property. And again, if you get 1,500, out of it every month, 1,500 times in a year, that's 18,000. 18,000 times 2 years, you've made your money back in 2.5 years. Your initial down payment. So this right here is Roofstock. I have a link for them, but I don't necessarily need to share it, because at the end of the day, y'all, I know people be like, you're selling courses. You're selling courses. I have over 150 affiliate links. I don't even properly promote all of them. Like, I'm about to have something with Next Insurance coming out soon. And I know y'all not even ready for that, but you'll see me in the commercials. And here is what I'm showing you. So again, same thing with these properties. 55,000, 80,000 Alabama, right? Look at the gross yield, 20%, 11%, 16%, 14%. You get these really big numbers because of the area and the price point. So when people say, I'm trying to fight inflation, this is how you fight it. By buying properties that yield you returns, that give you 13% return on your money, 19% of your money. People will always need somewhere to live. Just because you think it's the rat or the ghetto or not that great doesn't mean somebody who's working with the kids or their mama or all these people you see moving back to middle of nowhere Ohio because they can't afford California don't mean they won't move into these places. So again, I mean, you can Roofstock's made a company out of being a middleman to sell you other people's rental properties out here. Just it's just that simple, right? Now you're gonna say, well, Eric, I don't have this much money. Again, look at the list I gave you. Stocks, if you don't do it, it's $20 a week. Gold, ammo, guns, watches, precious metals that you can store at your house and you can sell. Land, farmland. Again, out here in Texas, what you noticed was a lot of people all of a sudden were building RV parks and parking areas, and oh, you can park your car over here for this much, or you storage, because that's just a way to make money off the land without selling the land. So, that's the thing. Pick a different. So if this type of, so let's just go there, right? Let's say you go, Ericka, I love beach properties, but I'm scared of hurricanes. No problem. Go buy a mountain property. What's your next fear? Forest fires. What happened to Gatlinburg, Tennessee a couple years ago? A massive forest fire that killed like $50 million in property. Do you know what I'm saying? So no matter where you go, there's something. What happened to all these people that just had all these properties in Kentucky and the parts of the Midwest where 40 hurricanes went through? I mean, 40 tornadoes went through. I live in VA my whole life and never been to the Outer Banks. Off the strength, I hate Myrtle Beach, but now I might mess around and visit. Honey, we have 13 beaches in North Carolina and 13 beaches in South Carolina, but you keep talking to Black people, they're like, I'm at Myrtle Beach. I'm like, because of Black Bike Week? Why? Purple Pros, you just got to get moving. And so here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing. What's the last thing? Is just land. Straight up land. You can go on farmingland.com. You can come and top quality watches, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 watches. You can go on farmingland.com. You can go on a lot of these places and go see that there's websites that sell farmland, remote land, middle of nowhere land. The thing about having this land is that 90,000 look good. Go to rooftop.com. The part about having, which makes sense, is deciding to do whatever with that land. So there's a few pieces of property I found off of, what's the name of that place? It's like an hour from here, but it's all the way going to JB Lake. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a small tiny house on that and rent it out as a getaway place on the weekends. And keep it simple. Just keep it simple. You literally can start with $10,000 and a small acre. I do consultations right now, but there's no special on them. So it's calendar@ericka.com. It's in the description and it'll be the top pin comment. Exactly. New York was woe out. Woe out. I don't deal with condos. I think they're like the worst. The worst. Oh, I know. It's like, why would you go to Myrtle Beach? It's disgusting. It's just dirty water, dirty purple. It's like bad as Galveston dirty. 2 years ago, I had a used Rolex for $8,000. It's now selling for $12,000 to $16,000. Exactly. Precious metal. Money holder. So again, we've been on this thing for 2 hours. I just want to go through these. I'm going to chop this video up and I'm going to use some of it in my blog. I will definitely post snippets of the blog to the community tab so you guys can go check it out. But, these are your biggest hedge to inflation. It's going to be hitting a higher paying job. So you either take that money and you start a business with it, you buy some farmland with it, you buy some real estate that will get you returns on your money for the next 10, 20 years, some raw land. Farmsandland.com. Please go check it out. You can actually go buy whole vineyards. You can buy berry farms. You can buy honey farms. You can buy pecan tree farms. You can buy wineries. There's a lot there you can do. But yeah, stocks, you saw the 7-10%. Again, there's a lot out there. So again, we've been out here for 2 hours. Thank y'all for having me. This video is going to stay up, but I do have to chop it up. Our guy Peter in Africa is on his 2-week vacation for the year. Enrique's on his week vacation, but most of everybody will be back on team and on staff January 4th, and everybody will be sending out emails and things that should go back to normal. The marketing ads you guys are going to start seeing around January 4th, and some of y'all already caught on Facebook. It's crazy. It's going. So I'll try to keep this video up. But yeah, we got lots of coming through, and I hope you guys enjoyed the content. It's your girl, Ericka Williams, Classy Klein Blog. Everybody stay safe out there. Have a great evening. Later.